Welcome to episode 53 of New Indian Woman podcast, airing first in early November 2021, and I'm your host Krishna. This particular episode was recorded by me, I would say maybe a year back, but I wanted to make sure this episode comes out in the context of other episodes related to working women and taking a break, etc. Recently, we had 2 episodes from Uma, who left a bank job, took a break, and joined back in the bank. But this episode is of a different kind, of somebody who has taken a break and done something else completely different. Hence, I wanted to have this episode as part of some kind of a series, if you may call it. But because this episode was recorded quite some time back, there may be some points which are slightly out of context, or even the way I am doing or recording the interview, it is not, or it may sound different from how I am doing it now. So that's okay. I hope you will all bear with that. With that, let's go ahead. So today we meet Radhika, who took a pause from a successful career of choice and pivoted it to a completely different direction later on. Radhika is right now in the US, who has started her own real estate venture, and she has a son who joined college recently. So welcome, Radhika. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, Krishna. My pleasure. I'm getting to share my experience.
Today we want to speak to you about this choice of moving from one career to another. So we will start with, at what stage in your life did you have to leave your first career and why?
So I was in an organization for almost 10 years out of my total 18 years of career. And then it was really going well. And there was a situation where we had to relocate to US as a family. So I had 2 choices. Either me and my son can stay back in India, or we all move together. So I took a choice to move together as family, be together as family, as many of us do, for various reasons, because that was the time when my son is in his 10th grade. And a guidance from both the parents makes a big difference to a kid at that age. So that was one factor. And another factor was that earlier, whenever I moved organizations or places, my husband also had to leave his current job and make a change to be with the family. So I thought every time I cannot be taking, help. Sometimes I have to give back as well. So it was a win-win. So
we don't hear that so often, but yeah, good that you highlighted that.
Right. Yeah, those 2 things drove my decision, and I didn't want to quit that organization. I only took sabbatical, and then I was with Accenture. I took sabbatical kind of 3 months, and then moved here to US. As you know, here you need employment authorization when you come as dependent, visa holder. It took really long time, more than 6 months. And then my organization, obviously, they couldn't wait that long, right? So I decided to make a decision and then quit and pursue something new, start afresh.
Okay, so for the benefit of people who are not clued into this IT world, sabbatical is when the organization gives long leave, no pay, but the assurance is that after that period of leave, you can join the organization. And Radhika is also referring to the fact that because of the visa-specific challenges, she was not sure at that point of time whether she would get a job in the US. But still, she decided to take that risk and initially take a sabbatical, and later on she decided to leave the organization so that she can continue to be present with the family at US, right?
That's well summarized, yeah.
Okay. Radhika, when people take these decisions, and very often women do take these decisions, prioritizing family, their children, etc., sometimes I wonder, would your 20-something self would have thought you needed to do this? in your 20s, maybe you were graduating, you had some kind of, okay, this is how I'm going to work, etc. Those dreams are there. So if somebody told you, see, after some 15, 20 years, you are going to leave your job and take a back seat, would you have believed in that?
I don't think so, given the maturity level at that age and how much the dreams of a 20-year-old just out of college and wanting to pursue would want to compromise.
Correct.
We don't differentiate between a girl or boy, at least in last 10, 15 years.
Yes.
Families don't differentiate between girls or boys, and they are given equal platform and opportunities as kids for studies or for pursuing career.
Not true for most part of our country, but still what you're saying is right, especially in households where the education is the focus. Girls and boys are treated equally, and you think there is that world out there and your dreams are there to be chased.
Yeah, they will want to chase, and I don't think there is any room for them to compromise at that age.
Yeah. However, you were saying that much later, when you had to take the decision, it was very clear to you of wanting to take this priority into account and take a decision, correct?
Yeah, that I think that decision, whatever I could take at the 20 years of my experience. So it depends on how well my past journey aligned with what I wanted to do and the amount of contentment that you already have. It's like, at any given point of time, Krishna, you have some choices. The only thing that you can do the best is pick the best out of those choices in front of you, right?
Correct.
When you move forward with that kind of mindset, things become easy. Because like in IT world or anywhere, days are gone when we plan in waterfall mode for entire phase and then execute, and then we don't have those many choices and opportunities, right? Entire world has become agile. So be our decision making as well.
Yeah.
At any given point of time, go with the best of choices that you have in front of you. As simple as that. Yeah, that's what I feel worked for me.
Excellent. So I had a question, I think, which you addressed already, which is what all are the options you evaluated and whose decision, where you clarified that you examined these options of whether you should stay back. You made it very clear without me asking that it was your decision to go with your family. And the question that I wanted to ask was, did you feel it was assumed you had to make compromises? I think I got the answer already, because you said a couple of instances before, when you moved organizations, your husband had taken the decision to join you. So there were no assumptions made due to a gender. Why this question was, typically we see around us, the husband's career is given the importance and the wife either has to leave or tag along all the time. The reverse we don't hear so often. That particular question I think you already answered without knowing it. So we'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
You have set up a real estate firm. What prompted you to do this? So when you talk about after going to the US, was there a period when you were looking for opportunities? Did you decide whether to stay at home, not work and earn?
Yeah, let me quickly tell you what happened. Because when you move to US, you need something called employment authorization, right? So I knew it will take anywhere between 4 to 6 months. So then that's the period of time I had to sit at home and I will not get to work. But trust me, I thoroughly enjoyed those 3 months of time because I never, in the 20 years, I never got to do that except when I had delivered my baby. So that was a big bonus kind of thing at the end of 20 years. So I thoroughly enjoyed reading, blogging, and, spending time with my son. I was there when he returned from school at 2 p.m. So it was good. But at the end of 4 months, I started, getting little restless because I wanted to do something else too. And then I started attending. Once I got my EAD, employment authorization, I started applying for jobs within Accenture and other places here. And long story short, because of visa reasons or some limitations, it didn't work out. Or I took a pause from job search. And then I just happened to visit a local firm where my property manager was there, who helped us with finding the house for rent. And then I don't know what happened. I just said, is there any job opening here? And then the lady other side said, yeah, we do have an opportunity. And then that's how it started. I got to meet the agent, and then she was hesitant to engage a person from, visa background, how long you will give commitment, those kind of worries.
But let me interrupt you here. So when you said property manager, I'm again translating it for the benefit of all the listeners. So you're saying you interacted with your real estate agent, with whom you were interacting with respect to your own house, setting up your house, etc. And then you asked that agent whether there are opportunities, right?
That agent's office.
I understand. So that agent's office. So, but this is a completely different field, right? So what prompted you to look for something there?
Somewhere I had that in mind that I have to have my own business or my own venture. That was there. And maybe confidence that after working for so many years in a particular industry and having changed domain within the industry, like sometimes you're working for telecom, sometimes you're working for healthcare industry, then you are with finance industry. When you could adjust there, maybe it's not that challenging, or you should take the challenge. You should try. Why not try?
Fact that you have tried many roles in your earlier career, which combined with confidence just allowed you to go and ask for an opportunity, and they agreed.
Yeah, and at the same time, I would also say, Krishna, I had my own doubts whether I'll be but able to. But it's as good as you join any new job, right? You are on probation for 6 months. I said, I will go through that probation. Let me do this. And then when I was asking that question, I wasn't sure if it is going to be positive response, right? So I just tried. Yeah.
That is nice.
And then not with the same agent, but some other agent in that office had an opening. And then I said, why don't you do this? I'll volunteer for 2-3 weeks. You don't have to pay me. If you see I'm able to take up and pick up and help you, then we can continue. We can sign the contract. Otherwise, you don't even have to pay me. I think that worked.
So you just created an opportunity there out of thin air.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. How many years of that has happened now? How many years you worked with that?
It's 2 years.
2 years. And then you decided to start on your own.
Yeah, thanks to COVID. Everywhere it was reduced hours or, that kind of not much business kind of scenario. And then the lady didn't want to, leave me. At the same time, she will not, she will not, I know she will not. Everybody is cutting down their expenses. So I thought, let me do this, instead of full-time job, let's do it as, transaction-based, they call it, like project-based rate, right? So I will support you, but as a, pay by work kind of mode.
Right.
That was the agreement. And then that triggered the idea of, when I can do this with her, why not I do the similar support with multiple agents? And then it becomes my own business. So, and I don't have to go to office.
Best of many worlds, right?
Best of many. Yeah.
You were telling me before our recording started that you already have 2 people working with you.
So, yeah, it is not full time they are supporting me.
Yeah.
It is maybe 2 hours a day. They started with 2 hours a week a month back. Now, slowly they are getting exposed to more and more work. And then now they are doing 2 hours a day. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So, we are talking about a scenario where you were not getting placed in your own specific area. Then you create an opportunity out of thin air. And when there is a pandemic and there is a slowdown, you take that situation of adversity and realize your dream of starting your own business. Fantastic. Now, I would really want to congratulate you for this.
Thank you, Krishna.
If I were to ask you a little bluntly, what prompted you to do this? Because you moved there, you could have comfortably taken that break. Okay, I've worked for so many years. Now let me relax. I can enjoy whatever. So which amongst these 3 led you to want to work again? Whether is it to earn money? Is it to engage yourself because suddenly you became free? Or is it to feel important? Or is it something else?
I think a mix of all that, because coming from a small town, I don't know, maybe there the women or everybody, like particularly my mother, my mother-in-law, or the people around me, I always seen they doing something beyond their what they are expected to do.
Okay.
Or, for example, if you sit at, my mother would say, even when I was working, my mother would say, now that this particular role is giving you some flexible time, why don't you go and complete that MBA that you started but you couldn't finish? Or, the prompts, there is always somebody checking. So that was one thing. And second thing was the mindset, right? We are all, in general speaking, we are all human resources. I strongly believe that as long as health and energy allows you, every individual, irrespective of gender, they should add value to the family, to the society around them, and then to themselves, right? So sometimes it may give you money, income. Sometimes it may not give you enough, but it's okay. But you are being productive. That's more important. Engaging your mind in something that makes you happy.
Right.
And whether it gives you income or not, but happiness, that everybody should pursue.
So well articulated. Now, do you feel that kind of, oh, I changed my career, I had to leave that career, that kind of thoughts? Are you now at peace with your decision to leave your initial career? Or do you feel self-pity, sadness about the decision? Oh, if I had continued, if I had done that, I would have been here, there, whatever, those kinds of. Why I'm asking this question is, there are many amongst us who go through those feelings. And I have personally met many people who shared some such feelings with me. So it is really helpful for others to understand, okay, if such feelings come, what people do, what others do, or did it even not come, what helped you?
Yeah, I think I won't say today, at the end of 2 years of this shift, I'm very glad. And I did say to a couple of my friends and family that I should have done this a long time back. But having said that, the transition from being in a very good position in a good corporate to a job to some job, that wasn't easy. And when I started this shift, initially the kind of work that I got to do, it took me back to less than 20 years or 25 years. And then there are times when I just stopped myself and then said, what am I doing here? Is this what I wanted to do? But I think that actually, made me more strong. That, as you said, right, did you have a decision, coming back to the decision question that you asked? I said, out of the choices I had, I made this choice. Now I need to make it my right choice. So what else I can do to make this as a right choice?
Right. So maybe even for people for whom the decision was not completely theirs, okay, and sometimes the situations force you to take some decisions. Maybe this particular thought process could help in terms of, okay, now this is whether I liked it or not, this choice is done. Now what best can I do with this?
Exactly.
Right. Great. Now, after leaving the career, especially, I know you are pursuing another, but I am talking about that in-between period especially, right? What all are the pluses and minuses you saw in terms of how people around you treated you? There is this immediate family who may have understood this context of your decision-making, etc., but when we say this is what society says or whatever, we are referring to our extended family, the people, the neighbors, the relatives who make those comments when you meet them at a wedding or whatever. There are a lot of these whispers, noises you hear around, which sometimes influence your decisions and influence your moods especially, right? So what are the pluses and minuses you saw in terms of how people treated you during that time? So now you have reached another milestone. I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about that in-between phase.
Maybe the fabric where I am currently in US, people really don't care what you're doing. First of all, not so much of greet and meet happens as we have in Bangalore or Hyderabad or in India. Second, whenever we meet, people's questions or, what they think never bothered me. But when they're sharing their experience, most of them were into, jobs here, the groups with whom I was interacting. when they used to discuss about what happened at their work, what happened here, or they call me, there were a couple of my friends who would call me and say, I have a situation like this. What would you have done? Kind of things. Yeah, somewhere definitely I missed that, being in the middle of action kind of thing. I did feel very disappointed. At the same time, I kept telling myself, or my family has been a great support, Krishna, trust me. My son particularly will say, yeah, see, look at it, Mama. If you were working, then we weren't doing all these things together. We wouldn't have had God to do this. So, yeah, I did miss being in the middle of action, but it was okay. That's where, it triggered the fire to do something and then get back to track.
Right. Great. Suppose in terms of deciding to come back to the career or pursuing some other, an alternate career option like you have done, I would like to know whether it is in terms of policy at the workplace or the support you need. What is the one thing that you most needed to help in this transition and finding this new path?
Okay. One is, for any job, when you make the transition, one is the domain knowledge that you need and the support of people around you. And this being a business, it's not easy to get that support from people around you, because you're working in an industry where it is just to give a summary of how it works, there is a brokerage office. And then there are multiple agents working who are actually employees of that organization. But each agent has his or her own business. And then they have a support system of assistants and other people. So that's how this structure works. So the brokerage, the firm tries to give that domain knowledge and people support opportunities. But at the same time, it will not work unless an individual shows some success. Otherwise, people will not. So it's not like our IT organizations where, there is a HR, there is some policy which will drive towards, getting everybody equal opportunity. That doesn't happen. Everybody has to make their own way. So that's how it was. So luckily, I got to work with the topmost agent of the organization. When we say topmost, she is the producer of highest, sales. So she is thorough. She is super professional. I would say one of the best I got to work with in entire 20 years or 22 years now. So she and one lady who recruited me from the brokerage, they both encouraged me to go for a real estate license as well. So that's how I pursued license. And then my IT background, I would say, came very handy to me, because whenever somebody had a question, so I started offering them those helps with tools, and because we are more comfortable working and adapting tools, different tools, I became slowly, at the end of 6 months or 8 months, I became their go-to person. Like, for whatever tools related help they need, they used to come to me. That's how my network started, with people in the different agents and their teams in the office.
Which means your skill set, while people may think it is not relevant here, you had to learn completely new things to be mentored and guided by these two ladies that you were talking about. But for the purpose of networking, you decided to use your own skill set to win over people and to build your network, right?
Yeah, definitely. Use your skills to help others. So it always works, right? What goes around comes around.
True.
Yeah.
Because of this pandemic, a lot of people, you were seeing this openness of people working from home across all kinds of workplaces, etc. Now, let us assume for a moment you had not moved into this area of setting up your own firms. Let's assume you were just looking for opportunities, etc. in the primary career. Do you think this kind of a pandemic has indirectly enabled people to work from remote places, which was unthinkable earlier?
Exactly. I think it made both individuals and organizations realize that working from home is not the typical thinking of organizations thinking. We are allowing you to work from home. We have come towards resources are ready to work from home and help the organization.
Right. Because earlier working from home was something which was asked for, especially by women, as an exception, maybe in the IT space alone. And now it is available all over, and it is not even a negative, a black mark on a person. Somebody asking for work from home was a black mark earlier. And in many industries, it was not even possible. So do you think this would help people in terms of women especially? Do you think it is going to help in continuing in their careers and finding, increasing their competitive availability?
Yeah, I would say for both men and women, even the gender bias, I think it impacted some men also. Like if you think of a situation where a homemaker is demanding her husband to be there at home and take care of certain thing because she's either having some other engagement. But typically the response would have been, I'm just saying it as an example. Husband would have told, I have got to go to work, better you handle it. Or he is ready to do it. But then when he reaches out to his office, I say, don't keep getting requests like a woman employee, please.
Right.
So they were also victims of, that bias.
Correct.
Not just women. I think it helps men and women to prioritize their work better and contribute to work as well as home at their, capacity much, much better when they work from home at times.
Definitely. So Radhika, just before winding up, any other last kind of points that you want to share, especially with women who have had to leave their career to take care of some aspects of their family? Okay. So whether it was their choice or they had no other choice, doesn't matter. There are so many women out there who had to leave their career. Is there some message that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, one thing that I definitely would like to share to all women, in the group that you just mentioned, right? They had to leave for some reason. So particularly for the younger woman, I would say, have your family and support system very, very strong. Don't ignore any relationships at home, be it mother, mother-in-law, sister, sister-in-law. Trust me, they all come very handy to you in pursuing your career aspirations in terms of the support. Have more people to say yes to your decisions. That comes only when you give that respect to them, right? And space to them.
So wonderfully put.
If you ensure your support system is strong, I think if not one job, there is always something that you will get to pursue. So it's just the people support that you need to have around you.
So well put. And when we say the support system, we have to change that mindset. I think in what Radhika is also sharing is, she's not talking about the support system in terms of hired support system where you pay and get. She's talking about the base, the foundation, which is the family, which would definitely, and you respect them and you get it back, kind of, a mutually beneficial kind of a relationship is very crucial. Maybe openness is more crucial or trust is also more crucial for that to happen.
And also this people aspect is one thing, and then enabling self with tools at home as well. See, when we talk about all these terms, we only attribute these to work, but then have your washing machine, trust me, for the working, not everybody can afford it, but the industry in which we are talking about, definitely they will be able to make that, one-time investment and make their lives very, very easy. Get a dishwasher, get a washing machine. I'm not saying that just because I'm in US now. Even when I was in India, I enabled myself with a dishwasher because it was required. I used to tell this in townhomes also. There are, particularly in this pandemic, when you can't have your domestic support coming in and help you every day, and also have a time box of when certain things for work will get done and involve everybody.
You mean work around the house?
Yeah. So let everybody in the family, depending on their age group, contribute to the work. It will take time initially, but if you have a teenager kid at home, stop helping with taking care of their clothes, their room, everything. Let them handle it. Prepare them well for future. Don't try to do everything, work yourself up, and then, crib later.
I can't agree more. There was one full episode dedicated to this. So I completely agree. So depending on your situation, your scenario, what she's saying is, whether it is a dishwasher, whether it is a washing machine, what is it that you need to lessen your load in the house, you need to invest in that. Point 1, and involve and seek help from all the people around you to participate in the work around the house. And point 3, work around the house can keep on, it's never ending. So just time box it so that you can focus on how you get back to your passion, how you get back to using your skill sets, right?
Exactly. And ask for help. So
Yes.
try this. Maybe one day in a week, you don't want to cook dinner. It is either somebody else cooks or they get it for you from outside. But that one day, one meal, you are not cooking. Try this. It works.
Okay, great. So on that note, shall we close? Yeah, wonderful
Thank you, Krishna, for
messages.
this amazing opportunity. It was pleasure talking to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Radhika. So with that, we come to the end of another episode of New Indian Woman. See you again in the next episode. Remember, you are what you want to be, and the time starts now.